What's up, everyone? I'm Sean. Welcome back to the YouTube channel. Today we're going to be talking about some more music. Today we're specifically talking about Green Day. Green Day just released a brand new album. It's called Saviors, and I want to talk about it. Just listened to it about 5 minutes before recording, so we'll see in a while if it grows on me, but I gotta talk about my opinions on this thing. So I do want to talk about it song through song. I have a little bit of notes here, so we're going to just go through it through each song, and we're going to just talk about it. First song on the album, the opening track, is also the first single they released back in December. The American Dream is Killing Me. They're going back here to their political roots back from the American Idiot album. It's something I could hear on the American Idiot album had they made this back then. It's very American Idiot-esque. It's a fun rhythm. I really like it, especially on the drums. I really like the you know, it's pretty basic though. It's the one thing that's going to become a common theme here with this album. Basic songwriting through most of this. And I'm going to go through my overall thoughts in a second and talk about my feelings on the really basic songwriting throughout this album. This one is pretty much basic notes. It's back to the political topics. Lyrics like the American Dream is Killing Me, Send Out an SOS. They just go through like kind of modern day American politics, which isn't far different from 2004 American politics. Basic political song, classic Green Day song. It's a classic Green Day song, and I'm happy to hear this one. This one's one of my favorite on the album, just in general. Guitars are nice as always. Billy knows the great guitar parts and everything. Next one is Look Ma, No Brains. This one is advertisement coded. It couldn't be more coded for be a song that can be played on the radio, be played in ads, all that kind of stuff. It's pretty basic. As I said, that's going to be a common theme with all the songs that we talk about here. It's a pretty basic song. Like, if I'm going to talk about it, it's very fast-paced. It's really fun. It's quick. It's fast-paced. It's a fun listen to. It's a fun song. Like, a lot of their fast-paced music is really fun music. And one thing about this album is we're reaching a point in Green Day's career where they are starting to be taking a lot of inspiration from their past stuff and adding it into their new stuff, right? And that's kind of what I took note of as I went through each song. Almost, other than the third one, all these songs are pretty much coded in what is kind of feels like past albums. And this one I said it kind of felt like a song that'd be on Uno Dos Tres. That's also a common theme. A lot of these songs, like, they could be on those 3 albums, through that trilogy of albums. A lot of songs feel like they could be on those, and I don't like that because I do not like those albums. And when I get to my overall thoughts on the album itself as an album, I'll get into why I do not like that. The next song is Bobby Socks. I have the lyrics ready to pull up here for this one, because this one's bad. Take a fucking shot. When you play this song, take a fucking shot every time you hear, do you want to be my girlfriend or do you want to be my boyfriend? That's kind of like half the song. It's the entire outro. It's like padding. It's like you're writing an essay for school and you need to add some extra shit to it. You know, like, I can probably play it right here. Right. I mean, it's a fun little guitar opening. It's fun. Shot 1. And that's like, let's skip all the way to an ending here. You're drunk already at this point. The amount of times that is said, it's insane how many times that's said. And I just think it's straight up bad songwriting. It's just bad songwriting to me. It is so... I don't know how to put it exactly, but it's so repetitive, and I hate repetitive music, especially from what is presumably a punk band, using music that's very poppy. And I'm going to get into why that's hypocritical in a minute as well. But I do want to get through these songs, and then I have overall thoughts. Next song is One-Eyed Bastard. I didn't have much notes for this one. This one kind of just sounds like a song that'd be on Nimrod. It also has a little bit of padding songwriting. The instrumentals are really fun. I will tell you that. The instrumentals on all these songs are really fun. They write great instrumentals. Next up is my second favorite song on the album. One I do recommend you listen to, Dilemma. It gives me a feeling of what I hear on Revolution Radio on that album. It's a pretty deep song about Billy Joe's drug use. If I can pull up... song lyrics real quick. The chorus is very catchy. It's a very catchy chorus, but the chorus has lyrics, as I say, I was sober, now I'm drunk again. I'm in trouble and in love again. I don't want to be a dead man walking. I don't want to be a dead man walking. Verse 2, welcome to my nightmare, where dreams go to disappear. Sit around in rehab, feeling like a lab rat. Strange days are here again, and it's getting weirder. Here's to my problems. I just want to drink the poison. Pretty much bringing in a bunch of alcoholism. It's a song that's deeply rooted in Billy Joe Armstrong's life, especially with drug use, alcohol use, all that kind of stuff. It was another song released as a single. I believe we went through another one earlier that was a single, but I kind of just ignored it. One-Eyed Bastard and Look Ma No Brains, right. Those two were also singles. So, this song's a really good one. I do recommend this one. The next one is 1981. It gives me a feeling of Uno Dos Tres and Father of All. More closer to the Uno Dos Tres trilogy of albums. It's also Little Revolution Radio-esque, but that one's just slightly to me. I heard some things used in that album that's used in this song, but it's a mix of all three, really into the Uno Dos Tres. It's a fast-paced song. It's once again another catchy song. A lot of these songs are catchy. They're basic. They're catchy. Kind of something that you can always play on the radio, which is kind of what this whole entire album has been a little bit. Next up is Goodnight Adeline. Goodnight Adeline, yeah. This song is a bit of a more slower paced song, bit of a love song, as a lot of these songs kind of are. It's fun. It's really fun to listen to. And I'm repeating myself a lot because there's not much else to say about this album other than it's fun, catchy, and basic. But this one, I have 3 albums marked down of where they took some inspiration from. 21st Century Breakdown, Revolution Radio, and Uno Dos Tres. Again, it's really leaning into Uno Dos Tres. But I hear some aspects that were used in songs in the other 2 albums as well. It being a slower pace song made it harder to hear because Green Day's slow pace songs have always been the same every album. If you listen to a Green Day song that's on the slower side of things through their first ever album to today, it's going to sound the same because it's always sounded the same. In my opinion, they don't really experiment with slow pace songs, and I mean, I don't blame them. Next up is Coma City. This one's very Revolution Radio-esque. I could hear this one on that album very well. I could probably fit it into that album. Like, I truly do hear it in there. It's a fast and fun songs. I love the drum fills. The one thing about this album, it proves how great of a drummer Tré Cool is. This album has some of the best instrumentals I've heard from Green Day since 21st Century Breakdown. I do think it has way better instrumentals than the Uno Dos Tres albums. Definitely Father of All. Revolution Radio did have really good instrumentals as well, I guess. That one is 2016. It's such in the middle of two bad albums, I always do tend to forget about it. That's all I got in Coma City. Corvette Summer. It's a really fun guitar intro. And a nice solo in it as well. If you play guitar, you might like that one a little bit. Here's the best part about this song. Hold on. Let me pull it up. Just get ready. Just get ready. Hear that cowbell? I love some cowbell. They're putting some fucking cowbell in their shit. I love that. Once again, it's been Uno Dos Tres-esque. It's basic songwriting. Very basic once again. More cowbell. Cowbell throughout this entire song. Every time the chorus comes up, there's cowbell. And I love it. I fucking love the cowbell in this song. Next up is Susie Chapstick. It's once again an Uno Dos Tres-esque, like basic but catchy. It's a bit of a head bobber. So if we go listen to this one a bit. Skip in a little bit. Like, it's one you can kind of just bob your head to, you know? It's also really slow-paced. A lot of songs on here are pretty slow-paced. It's either kind of fast-paced or slow-paced. It's kind of with a lot of these songs, and I do like it that way. Next up is Strange Days Are Here to Stay. This one is third favorite, I think, for me. I really do like this one. 21st Century Breakdown, like, it's a dark but upbeat type of song. Some of the lyrics are a little dark. It's very punky. But it gets, once again, basic songwriting when it comes to some of the elements to it. It really is. Next up is Living in the... Why did I write down 90s? Living in the 20s. This one I really do like. It has a really fun guitar opening. And that, another shooter in the supermarket. Yeah, that goes right into one of my first notes. Very political, as I'd hope so from a Green Day song. It's very Revolution Radio-esque. And there's a solo in here. 1 second. Living in the 20s. I just gotta look when the solo is. Solo comes in, Ain't That a Kick in Your Head. So... Okay. Here's the solo. It's very bendy. It's a bendy solo. I like this guitar solo a lot. Got him shredding a little bit. It's very bendy. You can feel the bends on there. That's a really good song. I do recommend that song on this album as well. Next up is probably my favorite song on the album. Father to a Son. It has an acoustic opening, which we'll play here. Using acoustic guitar in the opening. It's a very slow song. That's for sure. The song is very slow. It's very emotional as well. The instrumentals are beautiful. It gives me kind of a feeling of Wake Me Up When September Ends, but as I continue going through, it gave me a feeling of 21 Guns and other slow 21st century breakdown songs. It is one of the most beautiful songs on the album. This is my favorite song. It is a beautiful song. It's written so well. If you do not like kind of the same basic catchy writing on most of these songs, this song is a breath of fresh air on their songwriting. It's very good. You kind of go in a bit. You can kind of feel it. It's emotional. And then I think those are strings. It's beautiful. It's a really beautiful song, and I really do like it. This one is going on the playlist, and I think I might learn this one on my drum kit as well. Next up, second to last song, Saviors, the name of the album itself. The opening is very drums driven. If we listen to here, like the drums drive this song. In fact, they kind of drive the entire song. They are the driving force. It's very catchy. It's a song driven by Trey's drumming. And I do love Trey's drumming. And I'm very happy that this song gets the drive. It did put me into some thoughts of some other ways that they tend to have to drive their songs, kind of push them, that I'll get to when I get to the overall thoughts. That just was kind of missing in my opinion here. But yeah, it's a really, really catchy song. The drums really drive this song. This is still kind of a basic one to me. And a lot of my thoughts on the album will have to be talked in on the overall thoughts of what I kind of wrote out after listening to it in full. Last up here, we have Fancy Sauce. It's a very slow-paced song. Kind of things you'd slow dance to. Like if you kind of listen to it here. Right. Take me to the end, called the loony bin, somewhere I can rest my head and take it on the chin. But yeah, it's slow pace, again, kind of basic. Some of the writing's mad to me. It's Uno Dos Tres-esque, again. That's kind of what a lot of this album is. It really does sound a lot like an Uno Dos Tres album, as if it was all the songs on Quattro and they just put it on one thing, you know? I do want to get into my overall thoughts now on this album in its entirety. We are hitting 20 minutes. I don't want to keep you long. The song is the album is very basic on songwriting. Some songs aren't as basic as others, but in the end, it's a very basic album with their songwriting. I think the lyrics are very weak, and I think they're scared to keep experimenting with their sound. I think what happened was Father of All, it wasn't my favorite album, but the one thing I never knocked them on with that album was the fact that they were trying something new. I did think the new thing they were doing was bad, and I think it could have been improved on, but I didn't hate that they were trying something new, because that's the thing with Green Day, is that what turned them from a successful punk band to a rock and roll Hall of Fame punk band was the fact that they'd experiment with their sound a little bit back in the day. You know, they'd experiment with it. They did not have the same sound. American Idiot does not sound the exact same as Dookie. Like, they did change their sound up a bit, and they continued kind of experimenting with 21st Century Breakdown. But then after 21st Century Breakdown was the Uno Dos Tres albums, where they kind of stopped doing that, and they became very basic songs. Very basic radio songs, almost, right? And then they did Revolution Radio, which again was not very experimental with their sound. It was very basic sound again. And then they did Father of All, where they got experimental with their sound. And then everyone hated that they got experimental with their sound. Like, bring back the old sounding Green Day. Bring back the old sounding Green Day. And all that bullshit. I think the lyrics are weak, too, in this album. The lyrics don't scream to me the way that past Green Day songs have. One thing I kind of had to take the realization in is that this band is done making revolutionary music. This band is kind of done making that next step up. I've kind of had to hone that in. They're getting up there in age. They're more of a brand now than a band. And one of the reasons I think their lyrics are weak is they're out of touch. I don't think they've lived the old lifestyle they used to live when they wrote Dookie. Or at least they're far more removed from that lifestyle compared to back in the 2000s and 90s. I think they're a lot more far removed from it now. And so it's just not in their songwriting anymore. It kind of isn't. And this is something you kind of see with all bands that make music based on kind of people's living situations and such. It's just after a while, they kind of feel a little bit out of touch. Seeing them on a fucking, what was it, Applebee's ad? Maybe it was Chipotle. I don't remember. It was an ad. And constantly seeing them of ads and listening to a lot of their music kind of be coded to become like music you can put on an advertisement. You can kind of feel the sellout. And I feel like when you listen to some of their music and it tries to be personal with you, it's hard because I think they're a bit out of touch with the regular person now. They're so big. My overall rating of this album is going to be a 5 out of 10. It's not bad. It's not good. It's just okay. I think if you're just looking for a basic, catchy music that's kind of poppy, you can kind of get in there. And you'll enjoy this album if you just kind of want a little bit of a basic listening experience. It's not a terrible album. It's really just super basic. And that's just kind of my thoughts on it. I wasn't impressed. I was just not impressed at all. I don't think they're really going to make music that's going to be the next step up anymore. I think they're a bit out of touch with modern day politics because they just don't live it anymore. They're much wealthier. They're a much wealthier group now. They really are. So yeah, that's kind of all my thoughts on the album. Comment your thoughts down below. If you think I'm fucking stupid, call me out on it. But yeah, thank you all for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye.